Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So here we are going forward and getting pretty good results from my intermittent fast and weight loss. Just wanted to chronicle another entry in my journal here, and as always, this is just as a disclaimer for intermittent fasting and weight loss. This is my journey. I'm just sharing it with you through my journal, and you can take or leave whatever you need, but do check with your physician before starting anything. So day 0, we were at 239.8, and I'm happy to report day 18, 17, 18, I'm looking at 228.2. So looking at about 11.7 pounds so far. So I'm just going to keep going and going. I'm hoping that possibly by Thursday I will be at 12 pounds lost total. But anyway, the thing I wanted to discuss today is a really important topic, and that is what's called food addiction. Now, the reason this came up, I was writing my journal, and I came because you're dealing with issues of hunger and diet and food. One of the considerations I had was, did I have a food addiction? And I'm not sure. I don't feel like I did, but based on the information that I was reading online, it is possible that maybe that I was going down that path of becoming a food addict because my weight was escalating. Also, we have been under lockdown. We've gone lockdown now probably 2 or 3 times because of the issue with, the malady that's affecting the world right now. And my heart goes out to the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands who have lost their lives as a result of the pandemic. But as I was reflecting on the issues of 2020, it really made me think about the issue as far as by lockdown and the pandemic, and we are in a sedentary mode. Did this actually was this a precursor to food addiction, where I was actually substituting certain things that were bringing healthy reward to me in my life with addiction reward with food? So when I was writing my journal, the issues that I had to deal with was the issue of reward and pleasure. So when I thought about it, when I was writing my journal this morning, and I saw the results that I was able to achieve in just a very, very short period of time, pretty much just 17 days, and I've lost about over 11 pounds just by sticking to a 16-8 regiment and only eating from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. But then when you have a lot of free time and you're not eating, I think what it does is it allows you to reflect on other issues that you may have been dealing with as far as mental health or mindset. And I'm not a psychologist or psychotherapist. I was just simply asking myself a question in my journal and wondering if the issue of reward and pleasure with food was also being substituted for, let's say, career happiness. Because of course, because of the pandemic, so many people have lost their jobs, and so many people have had to switch careers. So many people have had to, just for the sake of paying rent, not that there's anything wrong with it, because I've done that job before, is work at maybe a grocery store or even deliver pizzas at night just so that you can pay rent and keep a roof over your head. But at the same time, it did raise questions in my head as far as, did I take the reward of food and use that to substitute for reward from other things that I was missing out on in 2020 as a result of the pandemic, such as reward or relationships with people? Because we have been on lockdown and we're social distancing. So relationship time. And I'm sure there's a whole host of other issues with each person that you can go down the list and see if these rewards were now shifting to food because we have so much free time now. So that was a major consideration that I had just thinking this. I woke up this morning and I had the idea of food addiction on my mind, and I don't consider myself a foodie person where I seek reward from food, but it could be one of those kind of sleeper cell issues where I'm actually afflicted by it maybe. Because my weight was escalating as a result of the lockdown, but now that I'm doing the intermittent fasting, I'm getting under control. But anyway, it is something I wanted to think about, and it was one of the thoughts that I wanted to share with you in my journal. As always, I always show this disclaimer. This is just simply my journey. If there is an issue of food addiction or you're struggling with food addiction, by all means, you should check with your primary care physician to get a referral for a psychotherapist or a psychologist. I don't know the difference. I don't pretend to know the difference. But I do recommend that if that's an issue, then it's something that you might want to look into. So anyway, I think we pretty much covered my thoughts on where we are here. Perhaps tomorrow I'll be thinking about it more in depth and I'll share those thoughts with you. But I do want to share something that I'm going to be doing as far as my fasting journey is concerned going forward. I've accomplished my first short-term goal, which was 7 pounds in like 11 days. And then my second short-term goal is to lose 20 pounds by the 31st of January. So that will mean I'll drop down to 219. And then I'm already looking at my third short-term goal, which is going to be 210, which will be a really major accomplishment for me because I haven't weighed 210 in many years, and I can still remember. I can't remember. Anyway, so this will be a major accomplishment for me. So I'm actually using this first goal that I achieved to springboard myself to the next goal, which I think is within reach because I'm almost there. I'm about 9 pounds off from this goal, 21.219, and then eventually I use this goal to springboard myself to this goal, which will be at the end of March. So I'm just slowly using time and intermittent fasting to achieve my goals, and then once I get there, I'm just going to maintain. I'm never going to go back to that because it just makes me feel so uncomfortable, and then just so many issues are associated with obesity, and so many issues are associated with gaining weight that I just don't want to be in that zone anymore. So ultimately, my goal would be to be at 210 by the end of March, but my next short-term goal is going to be 219 by the end of January, and I'm already thinking ahead as far as what I'm planning to do to get there. So here we are at 16:08, and I'm eating from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So my next plan is to jump to a fasting window of 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I think I can do it without any issues. I already checked with my primary care physician. He's really, really happy with the results that I've been sharing with him. I contacted him and I explained to him what I'm doing. I don't have any pre-existing health conditions that will prevent me from doing intermittent fasting, and I already did blood work for this year with my annual checkup, so he knows what my markers are as far as cholesterol and so forth, and my cholesterol is in line, but I'm slightly hypertensive. So he just recommended that because I'm taking a diuretic, that I drink a lot of water during the fast, because fasting is water intensive. It does require a lot of fluid to be digesting your food, and also breaking down fat cells and a lot of different things that you're going to be flushing out of your system. So just make sure you drink a lot of water, and drink. I love to drink green tea, which is good for detoxing and stabilizing your body. So anyway, I'm going to be switching to this mode. So basically, I'm going to be adding 3 hours to the fasting window and taking 3 hours from the eating window. So that means it's going to be a 19-5 method going forward. I'm really excited about this possibility, because I was already exploring the idea of not eating carbs after 5 p.m. I mentioned it in previous videos, because it only makes sense that once you get to a certain result, you want to keep going at the same rate, because it's all about mind. It's all about achieving a certain mindset, and I wanted to get into that mindset of keep going. I didn't want to plateau. A lot of times we achieve a result and then we kind of hit a plateau and there's nothing really happening, and I didn't want to get to day 18 and nothing happened. So I just wanted to keep going as I get to day 182, because this is a 6-month journey, and I'm hoping to be under 200 pretty soon. I'm only focusing on my second and third short-term goal right now. Once I get down to here, then it's going to be monumental for me once I get there to start thinking about weighing under 200, because it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been under 200. But anyway, so this is what I'm going to be graduating to at 19.5. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm drinking a lot more water, a lot more green tea, a lot more. I'm going to actually increase electrolytes, because I'm concerned that I'm not getting enough electrolytes when I'm fasting. So I may pick up I may experiment with a small bottle of Pedialyte, which is that electrolyte water for babies who get dehydrated from advanced diarrhea and so forth. And I did look online. Pedialyte has this reputation among people who are binge drinking. They use it to recover faster, which is weird. I'm not an alcoholic, or I don't really drink, but Pedialyte is one of those foods, or it's one of those go-to tricks or hacks that I've seen online for people who drink a lot. But anyway, I just learned about that. So that's something I'm going to be playing around with. It's relatively inexpensive electrolyte water that's been fortified with all of the major electrolytes, such as sodium, potassium, magnesium. Those are the major electrolytes that your body needs. And if you become dehydrated, you can get muscle cramps and so forth. I've gotten severe muscle cramps when I was in high school because I wasn't hydrating, but I was playing a lot of sports. But anyway, that is something I'm going to be looking at, but I'm going to be tightening my window. And the reason why is because I want to stop eating carbs after 5 p.m. I want to see if that's going to help me achieve my secondary goal at the rate that I want, which is 219, which will be a 20-pound drop. I'm already feeling really, really great from losing 11 pounds in just 17 days, and I want to keep going. I want to stay motivated, and I think the 19.5 is going to help me. I go to bed early anyway, at about 9 or 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. I start my sleep cycle, and lately I've been sleeping really, really good all the way to 7 a.m., which is a real good shift for me because I'm getting my 8 or 9 hours sleep. I mentioned in previous videos how important it is to get a really solid good night's sleep, and that's helping me to stay really rested during the day. I feel a lot more relaxed. Something is happening with my sleep cycle where I'm actually a lot more relaxed, even with all of the complexities of all the different issues that we're facing in the economy and the world right now, especially the garbage that happened last week. But anyway, I'm feeling a lot more relaxed, and I'm actually enjoying sleep more because it's really relaxing for me. I really feel refreshed, and I used to have issues with night sweats, like sweating around the collar and everything. I haven't had those issues since I started my intermittent fasting, and I think it has to do with the fact that I'm not dealing with a significant amount of blood sugar in my body as a result of eating food after 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. Just ridiculous times of eating, and because it just makes sense that that's possibly. And I've gone to the doctor and asked him, why do I have these night sweats? I don't have nightmares or anything. And he thought it had to do with my mild hypertension. And he thought, well, eventually once that is under control at about 130 over 70 or 126 over 69 or whatever it is, my last reading, which is, he's very happy with that reading, but he wasn't happy with my weight. He said that I needed to come down on the weight. He thought for longevity issues, coming down on my weight would actually significantly reduce my risk for a lot of issues down the road. And I told him it's something I would work on, and I made a promise to him. So that promise translated into my intermittent fasting and weight loss journey, and I'm hoping to actually get under 200 possibly by May, June is a possibility I'm looking at. But the important thing is to stay motivated. The whole goal of this update is just to share my trials and tribulations with you going forward. Intermittent fasting is hard because, especially if you're on lockdown, especially if you're you're subjected to the rigors of this pandemic and the issues of different phases of lockdown, especially if you're dealing with issues as far as financial because of the impact. There are just so many mental issues that you have to overcome with starting an intermittent fasting journey. Overall, it's going to help you feel a lot better about yourself because you're going to see the weight loss. I'm simply sharing this as a chronicle of what has happened to me, and this is not instructional. It's simply just for motivation if you are trying to lose weight yourself. But as always, please read my disclaimer. Always check with your physician to see if this is going to work for you. They have to sign off on whether intermittent fasting or any kind of weight loss plan, you should run it by your physician or primary care dietitian or licensed dietitian before starting, to make sure that there are no pre-existing conditions or issues with your health that might prevent you, that should indicate that you should avoid fasting. But also, one of the mental issues that I'm facing with fasting is just an overall feeling of sort of a spiritual lightening of my being. I just feel a lot more relaxed. It could be that because I'm actually sleeping better. That could be translating into just an overall feeling of like a spiritual awakening. Of course, this is on a spiritual level, and it's hard to convey what's actually happening on a spiritual level to another person unless you're going through it yourself. But if you did go on an intermittent fasting journey, it is possible that you're shifting your sensory awareness from something where you were seeking reward in food, and then now you're seeking reward in issues that are not food related. So possibly from that transition into another area of reward, whether it's just peace of mind or perhaps just a cleansing of your body, is good for your spirit. So anyway, I wanted to share my thoughts with you. Day 17, day 18. I'm going to keep these daily updates going so that it can be a motivation for you. But this is definitely working. I'm definitely feeling the thinning out effect. I can actually feel like my belly is thinning out. I definitely do feel the effects of the intermittent fasting in my back because my back feels different. That's probably where most of the weight loss came from, in the back area and the love handles. Those are the trouble spots for most men. And I was always concerned about belly fat because my doctor told me that belly fat is the most dangerous type of fat for men, especially in their 40s and 50s. So anyway, this is what I'm sharing with you. I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much for watching these updates. I am so motivated to share with you this chronicle of my weight loss journey with you, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.